Talk with Tariro is the name of the program. Hello and welcome. On the program today, we are kind of going on with the discussion that we had last week, where we're looking at the issue of sexual exploitation and abuse. So this week, our focus is on whistleblowing and what happens after someone makes a complaint. We know Florida last week urged us to say, when we know that abuse, exploitation is happening, or if it has happened to you or to me, it's important that we report, as she emphasized that we need to be talking about these issues. So we really want to know what happens after I've made a complaint, or if I've whistleblown that I know this person is actually exploiting so and so. To help us unpacking the issue on the program, we have Memory Zimbudzana. Memory is the monitoring and evaluation officer with the Adult Rep Clinic. Memory, welcome to the talk.
Thank you, Tariro.
Yes, we would want you to tell us, when we're talking about protection against sexual exploitation and abuse, what exactly is that?
Okay, Tari. As you know that sexual exploitation and abuse is abusing power by someone in a position of high position, and this person is abusing women, girls, sexually to gain the sexual favors. So when we are talking about protection is now the policies and procedures that are developed to protect these survivors of sexual exploitation and abuse.
Do we have cases of boys who are actually exploited and abused by maybe older women? Because half the time we're talking about women and girls, and I heard even in your definition we are talking about women and girls. And usually after airing these programs, you then have young boys who then call in and say, there is actually no one who's representing us. Is it because you work with girls only, or that you don't get these reports, or this is not happening?
No, the reports of boys, they came through. But why we focus is on women and girls is that they are the majority of the survivors, and the majority of the perpetrators are men. But we are not saying that men and boys are not being exploited. They are also being sexually abused and sexually assaulted by women. So of course, at Adult Rep Clinic, we also cater for those boys. But our major focus is on women and girls, because these are the majority that are affected.
What would you say when we are looking at these cases of sexual exploitation and abuse? People are not often free to go and report. They are, in fact, underreported. Why is that so?
There are different reasons why people don't report. Because even at Adult Rep Clinic, we find that most of the survivors, they report late, well after 72 hours. Because we encourage people to report as soon as it happens. So people, they don't usually report early because of fear of stigma. If someone knows that Memory was raped, you know, I'm the M&E office of Adult Rep Clinic and I'm moving outside, then someone knows that I'm raped. What about my relatives? So sometimes I prefer not to say it and keep it to myself. And also there's fear of retaliation. We are saying, if I report, what will happen? Maybe this person is going to be jailed 5-10 years in jail. His family, what will they say to me? How am I going to live in the society? So there are a lot of reasons. And you find out withdrawal of benefits. Maybe at work I have reported my boss. Obviously, my job might be terminated. Or some of the benefits that I am having at the work might be withdrawn. And also there is also self-blame. Maybe it's me who caused it. So how can I report it? And also limited information. Most of the people, they don't know that you can report it. They don't even know that there are services that are available for them to report it, so that they can get assistance.
You know, the reasons for underreporting that you have spoken to, they're very valid. They're what's prevalent. How do we then address that? Because there is that stigma that is there, And it will definitely happen because people will point fingers. At work, even if I was performing and I had been promoted before, there's that label that comes to me. It's because, so this is because of this and this and this. So all those fears that people have, and maybe I've actually seen somebody that experienced the stigma, that experienced maybe lost a job, I will not be willing to report. So how can that be addressed? All these reasons that you have given, how can they be addressed? So that at least people will go and report, because they are prevalent in our communities.
I think first of all, when we started this program, you talked about whistleblowing. I think whistleblowing is the very, very important channel of reporting, so that when you whistleblow, no one knows you. If you don't want to be known that you have whistleblowed, it's either the survivor or the witness, someone who witnessed it, can whistleblow.
How will this person know it's been whistleblown? Because that person, that is the perpetrator, will now come to me and say, how did this person know?
When you whistleblow, we don't even divulge that it's Tari who told us that X and X is sexually abusing X and X. It's very confidential.
So won't people know in the community that I've been abused, or it's at work, it's my boss who's actually now facing disciplinary action, maybe he's been called, still in the corridors within the workplace, it will come out. So for me as a person, that fear that I get, how can it be addressed?
You know, with that fear, that is why we are doing these radio programs, because we want to empower the survivors and the survivors to be. That when they report sexual exploitation and abuse, we are going to, they safety. We are going to keep this as safety. And if there are some who are inside in the corridors, we are going to provide psychosocial support to that person, so that she is empowered or he is empowered to stand.
Well, that's the message from Memory. It's important that we do report. The issue of under-reporting of issues of sexual exploitation and abuse must be dealt with. Like what she emphasized, it's important that we do report. Perpetrators must face the music. Let's make it a point that we amplify our voices when it comes to reporting on sexual exploitation and abuse. And she has spoken about the issue of whistleblowing. We will expand on that after the break. Join us. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion, where today we are looking at the issue of whistleblowing and what happens after someone makes a complaint. So, Memory, in the event that I am facing sexual exploitation and abuse, we want you, yes, we've spoken about it, but we want you to really give us the proper channels that I can actually follow as a survivor.
Okay. As a survivor, it depends on the location where you are. You can call us on our toll-free number. You can also use our Econet Net 1 number, even our email. And also you can also do the whistleblower. Or even you can go to any service provider that is near you.
Who are we talking about when we are talking about service providers?
The police, the VFU. You can
What's
go to
VFU?
victim friendly unit.
Yes.
You can go to a police station, ask for a VFU department, victim friendly unit. Those are the police officers that are trained to deal with this kind of cases, sexual exploitation and abuse cases. They can help you. And also you can report at any clinic. You find out these days any clinic can provide these services. They can give you what we call first line management. Then they can refer you to ACK or other nearest service providers that are able to help you.
You know, one thing that people often talk about is the fact that when we talk about all these places that we need to go and report, what I wanted to find out, the victim-friendly unit, if I'm in Gutu, my nearest police post, Kwabasera, do they have a VFU? And then if I go to a clinic, are all service providers conversant with these issues? Because oftentimes people will say, I've gone to this place and the people actually didn't even know how to help me. So do they know how to address these issues? Because when I'm looking at you as ARC, that's your mandate, and it becomes easier for you to deal with that. Do all these people, all these places, service providers have the know-how of handling such issues?
It's not all of them, but they are supposed to know. But you find out that there are new recruits, there are new personnel in the offices. Some are not trained to offer victim-friendly services.
So what happens?
But
then?
what we are doing as Adult Rape Clinic, we are doing awareness campaigns. Like now, if someone is watching this recording, what you have to do when you go to a police station, ask for a victim friendly. And if they are no, tell them that you know what you need. And if tell them where next can I get the specialized services that I need. So we want survivors to know what exactly they need, the exactly support that they need, so that they exactly ask that from the service providers.
You actually spoke about the issue of whistleblowing, and we might have people who actually are not conversant when it comes to issues of sexual exploitation and abuse. How do I whistleblow, and what exactly is whistleblowing?
Whistleblowing, Tari, is the act of reporting. And as you are rightly saying that whistleblowing, it was mainly for organizations and employees. But we are saying, as Adult Rape Clinic, we are going outside to implementing activities on sexual exploitation and abuse. And we are saying sometimes it's us, the service providers, who are exploiting the beneficiaries. So they have to whistleblow. And this program is supported by Spotlight and UNICEF. People can also, if I am the one who is exploiting the beneficiary, and a survivor or a witness sees that if I report to Adult Rape Clinic, maybe this case might not be tackled well, they can report through UNICEF. They can go to the website of UNICEF and find out where they can report
Zumba, how do I go on a website of some organization? What channels are there? Let's look at people who are in the remotest of areas. What's in place to enable me to whistleblow? I do know, like for companies, they might have toll-free lines. They might have those boxes where someone will write something and put it in there. If I'm in Bikita, how do I whistleblow? If
you are in Bikita, you know what, Tari? Those people that are in remote areas, they do have cell phones. Even Kambudzi, you can whistleblow using Kambudzi. Aki have toll-free, and most service providers, they have toll-free numbers. So you can use the toll-free number that you have at that time. You can even call directly and say, I don't want to be known, but I'm reporting so and so and so and so and so and so. And what we need in a whistleblowing, we need what exactly happened, where, and who was affected and who did it. We need the full information so that we can act. Even the one where you are reporting, if you are not reporting to Adult Rape Clinic, where you are reporting, they need the full information so that if they are passing on the information to another service provider who is supposed to act on, they have enough information to start investigations.
So, Memory, with the whistleblowing, what happens when I've called your organization? The person that I'm reporting is Memory, and coincidentally, Memory is the one who answers my call. Won't she then sweep my issue under the carpet?
No, she will not, because these calls are recorded. So they are recorded, so there is no way. Even if I am the one and I don't say it out that there is someone who is reporting against me, but still these calls are recorded. And when they are recorded, there is someone who is going to come and follow up on the calls and make sure that the calls were attended in a timely manner and there is an effective result. So there is no way.
Okay.
And also, if that is the case, maybe if someone feels that maybe the person that I am reporting to may sweep over my case over the carpet, people can use suggestion boxes in various areas where they are. At the police station, there are suggestion boxes. At the business centers, there are also suggestion boxes. And also, if you are reporting, Tari, you can also make a follow-up that I have reported a case on this day, but I haven't seen, I'm seeing there is nothing happening, no investigation is happening. And also email, those who have access to emails. You can write an anonymous email to us or to any other service providers, even text messages, WhatsApp messages. We all have that platforms. Even on our social media platforms, you can use those platforms. Yes.
Yeah, well, she is really unpacking it for us. And with what she has said, there is no reason for us to keep silent when abuse and exploitation is happening. There are different channels that we can follow. And from what Memory said, one way or the other, no matter how the perpetrator will try and protect themselves, it will definitely catch up with them. Join us after the break. Continue with our discussion, where today on the program we are discussing issues of whistleblowing and what happens after someone has made a complaint. Memory, when I've made a complaint, maybe I've not whistleblown, but I've actually just hit the nail on the head. If I'm from within an organization, maybe I've gone to the CEO and said, my line manager has done A, B, C, D to me. Or if it's the CEO who has done this, I've actually gone to maybe the chairperson of the board and I've reported the issue. Confidentiality of me, how is it guaranteed?
It is very guaranteed, Tari. Confidentiality and your safety. We guarantee your safety so that there are no retaliations like what I have said earlier on.
How is it guaranteed?
When we could do the investigations, you find out with most organizations, they hire an external investigator, someone who is not known. Because sometimes if we want to do the investigation within our organization, maybe I am a buddy of the perpetrator, someone who is being accused of perpetrating sexual exploitation. So I may not do justice to the investigation. So we hire an external investigator. Sometimes when this external investigator comes, you can't even tell that this person is investigating on this case. So your confidentiality is very, very guaranteed. We are not going to say it out to anyone. And if we want to, if we are investigating, we can also have pseudonyms. We can code the perpetrator. We give him a different name, or we can call him by A, B, C, D. It depends on the nature of the case and how we want to investigate. So that no one will link the pseudonym with the actual perpetrator.
And my safety, how is it guaranteed? Do I get bodyguards working with me everywhere? How is my safety guaranteed?
Okay, if you feel that you are not safe, as Adult Rape Clinic, we can place you in a safe shelter, and also we can alert the police so that they monitor your movements and the movement of the perpetrator to make sure that you are safe.
So Memory, when should survivors, when we are looking at them after facing sexual exploitation and abuse, when should they report? And people are always afraid of costs that are attached to accessing a service? Are there any costs that are attached to this to me accessing these services? When and the costs?
These survivors, they should seek services as soon as possible. And these services are free of charge. Even at government hospitals, if they go there and say, I'm a victim of sexual exploitation and abuse, they are not charged any cost. There are no costs attached to the services. They are provided free services.
And when you are saying they should report as soon as possible, what how soon is as soon as possible?
As soon as it happens. Usually at adult rape clinic, we encourage survivors to report within 72 hours so that we are able to minimize medical and psychosocial complications that are associated with sexual exploitation and abuse. For example, we want to prevent HIV. So if someone comes within 72 hours, we prevent HIV, we prevent unwanted pregnancy, we prevent other sexual transmitted infections, and also we do psychosocial support to support the mental health of the person, of the survivor.
If I do not manage to come within 72 hours, can I still report though?
Yes, you can still report. Rape is a crime. Even if it happens 20 years ago, you still need to come for the services. And the services, you know what, when someone is sexually exploited and abused, it affects the mind. You don't have peace in your mind. So when you come, even after 10 years, after 5 years, after 3 months, we provide you with psychosocial support until your mind is well.
Okay. When we're looking at the availability of services, what services are then available for survivors of sexual exploitation and abuse?
We have a victim-friendly system. And in our victim-friendly system, we provide what we call survivor-centered approach services. And these services, they help to empower the survivor and also to promote healing of the survivor. So these services, like what I said earlier on, they include medical services, they include psychosocial support, they also include, if someone wants safe shelter, we can place that person on a safe shelter. If they need legal advice, in our victim-friendly system, we also have service providers that also provide legal services. If you want social services, we also work hand in hand with the social service department, which can also provide with social services.
If you're talking about psychosocial support, what kind of support is that?
That is counseling. It's counseling, whereby we are talking to you. You know what, when your mind, I can say your heart,
Yes.
so if we talk together, you relieve yourself, and also your mind will start to functioning well. So that psychosocial, that counseling, I think in a layman's language we can say counseling.
Okay. And then when we're looking at these issues of sexual exploitation, abuse, in terms of their prevalence, are they as how prevalent are they?
I think I can speak in relation to adult rape clinic. They are very prevalent, and this sexual exploitation and abuse usually affected our adolescents and young people. According to our records at adult rape clinic, around 65% are adolescents and young women. And when I say adolescents, we are saying from 10 years to 24 years. These are the most affected with sexual exploitation and abuse. And these are the ones that have reported. What about those that are not reported?
What would be your parting shot to us as Zimbabwean? I had to throw in that that question in terms of the numbers. As M&E, we couldn't go without asking you an M&E related question. What's your parting shot to our viewers?
I want to encourage people to seek services. They should not shy to seek services. They should seek services so that we grow our adolescent and our young person so that they can be someone in future. Because if they don't report and if they don't receive these services that we were talking about, someone will not succeed in life. And also I want to say to our, especially to the parents, caregivers, to the guardians, that let us protect our children. And also let's use these platforms to report any kind of sexual abuse. Let us not downgrade any type, any form of sexual exploitation and abuse.
Well, that's all we had for you on the program this week. The key message is, once we see sexual exploitation and abuse happening within our community, the key message: report, report, report. Until next week, it's goodbye.